All right, it's JDax and Illiterate 2.0 coming to you
2.0.
live, and Dax is taking a little work trip out to Chicago,
Mm-hmm.
and
Yep.
I've flown from Charlotte to Nashville tonight. So
Solid.
yeah, we're gonna try to, the guys are currently at Al's house, and
Mm-hmm.
we're waiting on some live pairings and those announcements to come. So we're gonna try and get you guys some just some live feed here and kind of off the hip. So what
Yeah,
you got
I'm
today?
watching the form as we speak. Wait, I mean, right now it looks like they've arrived at Al's house. So pairing should be imminent. So that's good.
Yeah, so what do you think about these blazers, these Christmas
Oh,
blazers?
dude, I like it. You know, we weren't. Our captain didn't ask us to synchronize our Al's house wardrobe, but I would have definitely done it. It was a great move. The Blazers to sort of counteract the Christmas sweater from the Zoo Crew was a solid look. If I had to pick one of the Blazers that I like the most, I think Clayton's two-tone is rocking it tonight. I love everything about Clayton's get up tonight.
So talk to me about kind of what's the process at Al's house. I mean, there's dinner.
Mm-hmm.
Al typically gives a speech. There's the pairings. What were you taking in this time last year?
Well, I mean, I think that, well, first off, the food at Al's house is phenomenal. And I'm updating as we go. The food at Al's house is phenomenal. Al's like, he's life goals, man. Like, Al is such a great guy. Not only does he have the fastest cart at the Hideaway, but he is just a solid dude, no doubt. And there is a little bit, maybe at least for us, and I guess there is a little bit of delusional optimism that starts creeping in here, especially as the pairings get announced. You have to remember you were at the performance center earlier in the day.
Mm-hmm.
That is a super cool experience. As we got to follow along. Every break at the meeting I was at today, I made sure that I got as caught up as humanly possible on fitting day. It's an awesome day. It was one of my favorite days.
Redacted.
Redacted day.
And even the
Yeah,
shafts are
redacted
redacted
day.
this year.
Yeah. Now let me talk about that. So the team's in a bad spot. They want to tell you all about the goodness. Okay, they really do. In this particular case, like with us, we couldn't talk about the redacted gear, but most of our shafts weren't redacted.
Yeah.
And in some cases here, some of the shafts haven't even like come out yet. So I think that it's just tough because they really want to tell y'all about everything that's going on, but they can't.
Yeah, they
And
can't.
so they have to come up with some sort of sort of smoke and mirrors way of still keeping you informed about what's in their bag, kind of. And we even had a couple guys that had epics that were already out that weren't redacted last year, so they could talk a lot about that gear. But yeah, the team's in a little bit of a bad spot because they really do want to tell the entire community about the awesomeness of the gear that they've heard about, but they can't. So
Yeah.
I get it. I did get to try to get them to tell me if there were some apexes, because I'm like, there's nothing wrong with mine. I love those Rogue Pros, but
there's just something about those apexes. I mean,
there's something about those apexes. Yeah, well, I just want to know. I want to know so I can start prepping the wife if the apexes are due. Right, exactly. Right.
So, real quick, I'm going to kind of spring a question on. We didn't talk about this beforehand, but who's been your MVP of updates so far?
All right, Philly V's done a really good job. I mean, of course, that's sort of like what he's there to do.
The ass cap.
The ass cap. I prefer vice captain. Like if I was doing it, but whatever. Ass caps. He's been great with the updates. Kev's done a really good job. M. Peterson. Most of the team's done a really good job with updating. They've done a solid job of updating us and telling us what they can talk about. Pictures and videos and everything that goes into it. That they're really embracing the fact that they just happen to be the away team for the rest of us, right? And that's sort of, you know, it's part of it. It is their experience. Don't get me wrong, but we're along for the ride, and they've done a really good job of taking us with them.
Yeah, I would agree with you. I think you know, Philly's done a great job. Again, that's kind of why he's there, to help take some of that pressure off. But I thought Kev did a phenomenal job. I thought Clayton's done a really good job. You know, Scott's done a pretty good job as well for his first THP event in the Grandaddy. You know, that's good. So, yeah. So let's talk a little bit about the teams just a little bit. So we got the Zoo Crew, you got Team THP. Do you know what the cumulative handicaps are for these guys? I mean, what are we looking at here? What are the odds? Not really the odds, because not everybody likes the odds. But you know, what do the odds look like as far as stacked in the Zoo Crew's favor or Team THP's favor here?
Well, you know, I'm refreshing live here. I'm waiting on parents, and I may post some odds, some quick and dirty odds. It's getting late as we wait on it. For those of us either in Eastern or Central Standard Time, I know people don't like odds talk. This is what I would say. You know, the Grandaddy transcends the competition. However, it is framed around the competition. So you have to sort of talk a little bit about the competition, right? And if I do post some odds tonight and you're one of those people, because I mean, it's sort of like there's a lot of people that send me some messages. They kind of like it. They enjoy it. Some people don't. And so this is what I'll say. If I do post some odds, I won't post them in the regular Grandaddy thread. It'll be a separate thread, so you don't have to read them if you don't want to. If you do, that's great too.
Well, the good thing about the internet is you can choose what you want to read and what you don't want to, and you know what you actually read and what you don't read. So,
but believe me, no one respects the Grandaddy more than I do. So, so I would never do anything disrespectful, but anything that can add engagement for us following along, I don't think it's a bad thing. So now that disclaimer's out there, the Zoo Crew, I'm going to make an assumption that they're going to come in with roughly the same handicap. There's one change in the Zoo Crew this year. They lose Scotty G.
An 18.
Yeah, Scotty G's my guy though, man. Like he walked on water with AJ. He was great against me and Cobra last year. And Newbarth replaces him.
There's an 8.
Which is an 8. So
the team that closed you out on day one just got better, is what you're telling me.
I mean, do you have to keep saying this? The team that closed us out on day one probably got a little bit better in this spot. They're going to come in with an accumulative somewhere around 7. Would be an accumulative, and of course, depending upon what the the formats are, that it's a weighted type situation. So, but they're going to come in somewhere around the 7. Our team's going to come in somewhere around a 12 to sort of give you some, line of sight on the Zoo Crew's just loaded. I mean, they're loaded. This is a murderer's row team. You've got Luke, who's phenomenal. He's a 2. AJ's a 3 with sweet swing. Tyler can hit bombs. He's around a 3 or a 4. Ethan's like a 6. Harry's somewhere around 6. Ian's a 6. Look, I'm 6 or 7 people. Hashtags probably 6. I'm 6 or 7 people deep into talking about the Zoo Crew, and I hadn't even got to the showstopper, the main eventer, the soul crusher, Finley.
Yeah.
Like I'm 7 deep, and I haven't even talked about the Dark Lord of the Hideaway. I mean, what? Yeah, they're good, and it would take a Herculean sort of effort in order to stay with them, because they're good, and some of the thing is you have to also remember, Mike, or illiterate 2.0, whatever you're going by, that nowadays. I'm glad
to see
that.
THP champion. Let's go by that.
Okay. I mean, geez, my God, you're gonna get some mileage out of this, aren't you?
At least for a year, kind of like Finley is with this 8 and 6 on your Twitter profile.
Yeah. Look, whoever let me get back to let's talk about that. Like, I didn't even want to call the guy. I didn't even want to call the guy out. Like, I'm almost like I'm disappointed that you're not there because it was your idea to call the guy out to begin with, and it sort of works out, butterfly effect. Dude, I love Finley, man. Like I do. Like he is an awesome person. And when he wants to work heel, there is no one more savage. And if you catch him in singles, do not underestimate this man. He will rip your soul out and parade it around for 12 months. And I wish that either Hudson or you got to play him so that he would also rip y'all's soul out, so I don't have to hear about the 8-6 all the time. But I wouldn't trade it for a world, and maybe someday we'll meet again, my good friend. But when you look at the Zoo Crew on paper, they're good. And so you're going to have to play really good with clubs that you have not hit yet. I mean, you got fit for clubs today, remember? Okay. You haven't played around with them. They have 12 hours to turn those clubs around after the fitting and get them ready in the desert for you to go out there and attempt to put up a fight against the Zoo Crew. And only one THP team has been able to do that. But if you're asking me, what was the question? Like I rambled.
We were just kind of talking about what do the odds look like as far as handicap, and you kind of covered that. But So do you think that this team THP gets it to day 2 with a chance to win, or where the thing is still in ballot here?
Yeah, I mean, look, so what is it? So for them to retain, it'd be what, 15, right?
Yeah, 15 to retain, 15 and a half to win.
Right, and they got us for 15 and a hook on day 1.
Yeah, 18 points available.
Yeah, okay. Thanks for the reminder. Look, there's no one sicker than the guys that were on my team about our performance.
I mean, how does that happen? To quote Hudson, how does that happen?
Well, I mean, to quote Hudson, do you mean to tell me they gave you a full bag of brand new clubs and you couldn't get a match past the 12th hole? And yeah, that's exactly what I'm telling you. I mean, now look, I did miss a 4-footer on 12 to extend. Okay, with
the putter that Sean Toulon fits you in. How does Sean Toulon feel about this?
I don't know. Dude, Sean Toulon's gonna love what I've done to this putter. Right? It's actually it's at Kick-Ass Clubs as we speak, getting some customization from Peter and the gang out there. I think that he'll be very pleased with what I'm doing with that Columbus that he handed me. But no, they're not. I mean, what do you want me to say? I don't want to. I'm not going to say.
We get at least 4 points tomorrow, and that where we've got an opportunity to win.
I think it depends. I mean, I think that there's several things that you've seen my legal pad, right? I mean, of all these thoughts that came into my head as we left the Grandaddy, some of them I did post, not all of them, because some of them related around the math of setting the pairings up.
Yeah.
And if I ever had a chance to go back as a vice captain or actually the captain, how would I attempt to get us to day 2 with a chance? I think that there's some certain creative things that I don't know. I hadn't seen the pairings. I'm keep updating, refreshing the forum here, but it looks like they're imminent to come out. But there's some things that you could do to make the math sort of maybe give you a chance to get into day 2. But man, they are very, very good. You are going to have to putt. And maybe you catch them sleeping, but they're probably not. I mean, they were really looking forward to reclaiming that belt from us last year, and we walked into a buzzsaw. We didn't put up much of a fight, so I did listen to some of the podcasts earlier today. They are uber confident, as they should be. They deserve the right to be such, and
they've got 10 single digits on their team. So essentially you could, if you're Harry, you could put these names in a hat and just pull them out and say, oh, we're going to send, this person and this person out. And you're going to have a strong pairing.
The captain of the Zoo Crew has a great deal of flexibility with the way he goes about pairing. The THP captain, it sort of depends. You could try. There's a couple of different methodologies, and we won't get into it because that's not fun to talk about from a mathematical standpoint. To try to get you into day two, we'll see how T4K does it. We'll see what Philly V and the brain trust there come up with. But short answer. That was a long answer. I should have just short answer. Yes, I do think that they win 4 points or more tomorrow.
So we were kind of talking about Finley. Let's talk about Finley again for a second. So. And, we talked a little bit about your match last year, but if you're the vice captain or the captain, who do you send out to play Finley from this team THP?
There's a couple, and, of course I wasn't asked. And of course, again, I'm not an expert on beating him. I am an expert of getting beat by him. I did that way better than maybe anyone else as far as just taking it into the chin. If I was, and I haven't played with all these guys on the team, but I will tell you this: I played the first 27 holes of the THP Championship with Kev, and there were some spots where during alternate shot, his partner had put him in less than stellar positions. Maybe not as bad as
peculiar spots.
Yeah, very peculiar spots. Very absolute jail, Jim. Maybe not as bad as what J-Mo described Hudson went through during alternate shot, but it was still pretty bad. And I got a front row seat. Dude, Kev was never rattled. It was always as cool as the backside of the pillow.
So did you see Kev hit a hooded 7-iron off the side of a portalet onto the green? 10 cup. Anything like that kind of stuff. Or just
no. I was talking more about his demeanor. I think that the best matchup, if it was me and you made me who I would pick to play him, it would be Kev or maybe M. Peterson. In both of those situations, Finley's adjusted 7 at the Hideaway.
What is Kev's handicap? He's around.
Kev came in at a 7.32. So it should be like a pretty decent match. Adjusted Kev probably is an 8. So maybe Finley's laying 1 pop there. I also sort of would like a matchup with M. Peterson against him. I think that M. Peterson, has the game to stay with him. Of course, it's not the only match out there, but since I didn't play anybody else in singles, I understand why you're asking me who I would send out against Finley. Yeah.
Yeah, I like the Kev pairing too. As far as what you're saying, I got to play a practice round with him at the THP Championship, and he didn't play his best during that, but I never saw him get flustered. He had a good time. I think he's got the kind of the right demeanor and attitude that could put up with the biggest hill in the game, Mr. Darth Finley.
I know, man. Some updates while you were talking. I just Matt Wood is there. That's the head pro at the Hideaway. In fact, Grandaddy wouldn't happen if it wasn't for him. So it's super cool that he's at Al's house.
Was he there last year with you guys?
I don't think he could make it last year.
Okay. Well, that's awesome.
Let's see. And then it looks like we have Al speaking. So I'm going to assume that pairings are imminent. So, okay. Get in a couple more. I'm assuming that we'll stay with the coverage through the pairings because I think this is where we need to be.
Well, here's a question I'll ask you. So how nervous were you? Obviously we talked about, they're probably getting, they've got this, just boost of confidence here kind of going into tonight. I would say, before they kind of hit the battle, but how nervous were you, when you stepped on the first tee yesterday, or when you look at what they're about to do for day one, how nervous were you hitting that first tee shot?
Dude, the Grandaddy nerves are real. I did say this in my post in an attempt to help the team. They're real. I'm not gonna lie to you. Maybe and my partner can attest to this, and even AJ, who played against us. I didn't start leaking oil until best ball. Like for the most part, during the first 2 sessions, I played pretty decently, and that's what no one sort of remembers that because me and Cobra both lost those matches in spectacular fashion. But and then of course the singles day just total soul crush. Yeah, repugnant, soul crush, whatever adjective
egregious,
egregious. Like it's so bad that you have to sort of laugh about it. Everyone remembers that. Like if you remember me and the Grandaddy, you remember that. But no, there's going to be some nerves when they pull in the gate. Cool thing. Here's the deal about Al's house too. He lives on the course, and I posted this in the thread, but I think it's important to remember. He lives on the course.
Yeah.
But you can't see the course because it's so dark from the backyard because a lot of festivities are going to go on the back porch. And so it's like you're really close, but then you're a little kind of far away. Yeah, when you get on the bus and you pull in the gate tomorrow morning, the butterflies are going to definitely hit you. There are some nerves, especially in that first tee shot, but they usually go away pretty quickly.
Yeah, well, that's awesome, and I'm seeing a ton of updates come through. What are we looking like? Are we getting because my phone's going nuts right now.
Okay, so okay, here we go. We do have pairings. Okay, so we'll just stay with us.
Right.
So here we go. We got match one. Match one. The Zoo Crew sends out Hashtag and Harry. Oh, that's a good pairing. Hashtag and Harry against Boater and ROGT.
Okay.
I kind of like this. Right out of the gate for the captain, 2 of his low caps. He sends out his second lowest cap here.
Huh.
The second lowest cap goes out with his 6th. So yeah, I mean he sends out a team right out of the gate that he's hoping to get points for in that first match. So not sort of okay, all right, T4K, I'm here to play, and we're maybe we won't get run over. So I like that first match. Match number 2 is my man D-Net.
D-Net's the guy you almost killed last year.
Yeah, with the
utility iron.
Yeah, shanked utility iron. Yeah. God, you have gotten mileage out of this. I
mean, don't feel bad. I almost killed Danny Lee. I shanked a wedge and hit his cart. So we both almost killed somebody on the course.
Yeah. So he goes out with my man AJ. Yeah, I like that. So we've got D-Nevs and AJ together. It's a 3 and an 8. And AJ.
Who's team THP sending out against them?
THP sends out Phil. My man Phil. Okay. Look, Phil's the stick here. He's also, he's the elder statesman of the team THP. He also threw some selfie game at us this morning, with the scripting. Like I started my morning with him in the scripting. I'm wearing a Space Mountain shirt. Maybe Phil's the oldest rod in the part, baby, but
does he have the longest line?
Dude, it's the oldest rod, longest line, Phil.
Yeah.
Woo! Like it. He goes out with Shane in this. So you got a 4 and a 12 going out together.
Okay.
Dude, so it looks like the captain. It looks like he's going to try to keep us in this early.
Yeah. Here's a legitimate question then. So Phil, obviously is old enough to play senior tees. Does he get to play senior tees during these matches? I mean, what's the story on that?
I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I know that the course is probably going to be set up very similarly. So, I mean, you're talking like 6,400, probably 6,500 probably would be the longest they would play it. I mean, I guess it depends on where they want to put some of those tee boxes out there. I mean, I know that he did make a comment on the forum that he hasn't played that type of yardage since like 2005. So,
willingly.
I don't know. Willingly, I think that's exactly what he said. Willing, I have not played this willingly until 2005. Yeah, that would be that's one of the that's sort of one of the storylines to sort of follow if you're going to follow the match tomorrow. Where did he play from? I know, but I sort of like the first. I like how we're out of the gate. So we have match 3 announced here too. Velarde,
Okay.
The rotary dialed master himself, man. And Luke go out together. Luke,
Pre-nest Luke.
I mean, according to Nate, Luke played better at post-nest. Pre-nest. Pre-nest, post-nest, it doesn't matter when you're talking about a guy like Luke. He's tougher than nickel steak, and he goes out with Velarde, who's trying to rotary dial it in, and so you have the low and the highest going out together for the Zoo Crew. We counter with M. Peterson, and then Clayton goes out with him. So you go with.
What are those handicaps?
9 for M. Peterson. I don't, of course, I don't know what highway. I don't have the highway adjusted handicap. It's probably adjusted to a 10. And then he'll go out with Clayton, who is an 18.
Okay.
So we're gonna get some. We're gonna get probably some pops. Not as much as if they would have caught Luke without Velarde, but. Yeah. So now the captain makes a sort of a popish type of gambit after he throws 2 lows out there. He's going to try to get us some pops here and try to make it work.
Yeah,
I actually kind of like it. Match 4 as I scroll. Match 4. That's salty. So the Zoo Crew comes out with Ian and Ethan.
Ooh. Ian and Ethan, okay.
God, dude, Harry has a variety of options.
I mean, like I said, just put them in a hat and pull them out.
And all of them are good. Variety of options and all of them are good. And then we counter with Army. Where's Army at? 7.6. Army probably adjusted to maybe a 9 there. And so Army Golf goes out with the captain. So T4K goes out with him. T4K probably 15, probably an adjusted 16 or 17. So it's a little popish. The other 2 guys are probably like 6 or 7s.
Yeah,
we'll have to see how that goes.
Get a few pops there.
Match 5. Oh boy, this is the one that I'm going to watch, man. I hope this training class doesn't screw this up, because the Zoo Crew comes out with the nicest dude on the Zoo Crew, Pete goes out with Finley.
So this is like your biggest baby face on the Zoo Crew with the biggest heel, right?
Yeah. This is like it's like 1989 if you would have put like Ricky the Dragon Steamboat and Ric Flair at his like heel mastery and put them together somehow. This is that Zoo Crew's going total baby face and heel against we counter with Kev.
Oh, my boy
Dazed.
Kev.
My man Kev, who we just talked about.
You said Dazed, so
Dazed.
Kev and Dazed, they played together at some point in some other event, right?
Yeah, I think Kev and Dazed have played before in like one of Kev's first events together.
So captain's going for chemistry here, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, they're familiar with each other. I mean, that'd be very similar as someone throwing us out together.
Yeah.
I mean,
maybe they don't have some similar exchanges as you and I did during regional rivalry.
Yeah, minus the near meltdown, minus the near fisticuffs. I don't think you'll see that from this group. It's not as volatile as a pairing to say you and I would be. But I do like it. He's going for some familiarity. I don't know who came up with the pairings, whether or not Philly V helped him out a bunch, or is this Frank's call? But so far so good. Match 6. You scroll down.
This must be Scott, my buddy Scott.
Yeah, your buddy Scott. I've been starting with the Zoo Crew. So Tyler, long ball hitter Tyler, great guy.
Okay.
God, just a good golfer, super dude. He goes out with the newest edition, New Barth, and Tyler go out together.
Okay.
I think I read somewhere that he was like the New Barth was an 8. Tyler's probably a 3 or something like that. We send out tough cliffhanger, Scott, whatever. Doesn't matter what your name is. Look, he's also been a star of the trip. I mean, the glow in the dark pullover. I mean, obviously barring his wife's luggage. I mean, the whole thing, like, and not caring the mirror shades. I mean, I hope that he brought his dress blues, so he could wear them to the nest and see what that causes in the chum there.
I mean, if this had taken place, if Scott was there, I mean, I'm trying to think. 15 years ago, when we were in college, I mean, I'd be seriously worried about him finding his way home. But now he's married and has a daughter. I think he's going to be okay.
Okay, solid. Okay, whatever. Look, I'm not saying anything about anything.
I mean, he could be this year's Cobra.
Dude, there's only one Cobra, man. Like, I mean, so he goes out with Blue Hen. So this is where we're gonna try to get a little poppy here. This is where we're gonna try to go Papa-palooza and sort of like steal one with some pops and I like it.
So what's Scott coming in? Scott's coming in at what, like 13, 14, something like that?
According to my notes, Scott came in at a 13 even. It's probably 14 at the hideaway.
Okay.
Blue Hen probably rounds up to an 18. So we're going to send 14, 18 out there.
Okay.
Against probably a 3 and an 8.
Yeah, we'll get a lot of pops there.
Look, I mean, I think that in order to get to day 2, you're going to have to roll the dice.
If anybody knows how deadly the pops are, it's you and I.
Oh yeah, I mean, when it goes against us, right?
Yeah.
On the easiest hole of the course somehow.
Yeah.
We're still salty about that, D-Money. So here's your best ball matches. They've done a great job. So match 1, the Finley Harry pairing. So Harry goes with a heel team here. So heel baby face. And no, I love them both. So who
are the sacrificial lambs from Team THP with this heel pairing?
Look, there is no dude. It looks as if the captain. And I like this move, man. I really like this move because this is something that I would have done. He keeps them together. He goes ROGT and Boater go out against Finley and Harry.
Okay.
So yeah, that's your first match in best ball. Match 2 in the afternoon. Velarde. Rotary dialed himself and all of his glory. New Barth goes out with Velarde, so it's an 8-16. And then we counter with Scott and Blue Hen. So
he's not keeping them the same order. It looks like he's keeping them together so far.
He's keeping them together in a different order, and I sort of like that. Again, that's our little popish best ball. I sort of like how these. I'm not gonna lie to you. I sort of like the way the captain's like putting this together. Yeah, match 3, Luke and AJ.
Okay.
That is so salty. Luke and AJ and best
still
ball.
pre-nest Luke, so if you're going to get them, it's got to be on day 1.
Look, dude, listen. Pre-nest, post-nest, it doesn't matter which Luke you get. It's still you don't know, man. Like, he's also a freak of nature too. Like he's not the soul crusher that Finley is, but like he's like sort of like still could rip your heart out and stomp on it. Guess who catches? So in match 3, best ball, my man Kev.
All right. Kev's coming back.
Yeah, man. And Dazed come back out against like just a really salty best ball pairing, man, that the Zoo Crew threw out there. Match 4 in the afternoon. Another just juicy Zoo Crew pairing. Tyler and Hashtag.
Yeah.
Yeah, you automatically dropped your head too. Like, oh, Like, these last two pairings from the Zoo Crew? I got AJ and Luke and Tyler and hashtag. Like, who's up there? Cougar and Merlin and Maverick and Goose. Like, woo. And against them is Army and the captain.
Oh boy.
Yeah. Oh boy, he says. Match 5 in the afternoon. Pete and Ethan. They're going out against Clayton and then Peters. So, yeah, Pete. Pete's the nicest dude there. Yeah, I mean that one's. I mean, I like the fact that he kept them together. I do not like some of the draw.
Yeah.
I do like the fact that he kept them together there. I mean, look, as I'm refreshing the forum right now, I am seeing some people questioning this. I like it. I would have done the same thing, because a lot of times what ends up happening is that you get through those first 18 holes and you and your partner start feeling it, feeling each other, just trying to get into a groove, and then you run the potential, if you can catch some momentum at the end of that second session, then having to switch partners and trying to get back that sort of
that
synergy.
Yeah,
if you were able to get some chemistry going, that's a little tough, right? Last match tomorrow, Ian and my man Dinos against Phil, the oldest right, longest line. And if you win 2 points tomorrow, I'll forever call you Space Mountain. Phil and Shane. So there we go. Wow.
All right. Well, let's hear it. I mean, what's your prediction? I mean, what team are you going with? I mean, we haven't seen a contest like we saw last year, but if you're going to pick a team, is it Team THP or are you going with the Zoo Crew?
Man, look, I remember being so mad last year when, like, people that we interact with all the time were just like steadily picking against us. And I mean, I want the Team T. I will say this before I make an official pick. I think that the pairings themselves give them a chance to get to day 2. I do like. I mean, he took some, like some of the best ball matchups, but I do love those first 2 sessions matchups. I do love those a lot. Oh man, like, I'm not even setting a line on this because I don't think that you can. We hadn't even seen a contest yet, and I don't think there's going to be one, because I mean, I don't know. After we like totally shit the bed, I don't see how you could get action on us, right? However, at the end of the day, I was so mad when people picked against us. My official pick, and I hope that I'm wrong. I mean, but give me Luke, give me AJ. Like, if they puts a contest up here right now, I'm probably not walking. I'm sprinting to the window to get my ticket in on the Zoo Crew. Not because I don't love you, and I would love to be wrong, and I would love to see the upset go down. I just don't know if the Zoo Crew can be beaten. But I mean, maybe they can. I mean, I think they have a puncher's chance, and I hope that I'm proven wrong. But you asked me straight up who I'm going to – I mean, look, I'm not going to go in a video and tell you I'm going to pick Team THP and then go into a contest thread if there is one and pick the Zoo Crew. But you know what? Maybe there's some magic. Maybe they get lucky. I can't. Look, there is a path. There is a path to victory, but they'd have to have almost everything go right for them. And it's not even about the competition. Just get to day 2. Get to the nest. If you see a bunch of fireball, take a picture with the clown and get on an Uber. If y'all are still in this, I mean, if y'all get 6 points, if y'all could somehow get 6 points tomorrow, you're technically still in it. If you're not, then have some fun, man.
Yeah.
Soak it all in. This is a once in a lifetime deal. Yeah, I mean, if you're gonna ask me point blank. I'm not picking against the Z Crew. I mean,
yeah,
they're just too much, too good,
and they're improved.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. By the way, before we cut this off, 40 minutes in, if you're still here, I appreciate it. You may be, someone tried to call Finley Puffy today. Yeah, I saw it on the forum.
Yeah. I don't know what that's about.
I don't care. He could gain like the equivalent of like a toddler, and he'd still be pound for pound one of the baddest dudes of all time. And you know, I just hope that maybe next year you or Hudson get in so y'all can lose to him. But I hope I'm totally wrong. I hope that the team THP comes out and proves me totally wrong tomorrow.
Yeah.
But regardless, it's going to be an epic. Pardon the pun. See what I did there? It's going to be an epic follow, and I can't wait to see how it unfolds.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm with you. I'm taking the Zoo Crew as well. I'm not going to give a number or anything like that, but I think they've got home field advantage. They've played together before. They've played with their equipment, several times before. And
it's
played with
tough,
each other
man.
before.
Listen. I'll end on this. It is very tough, and this is what makes Unity's like sort of what they were able to accomplish so impressive. It's very tough to take equipment that you haven't had even a full round with against people that play with each other all the time, and come from parts of the country where you haven't played a ton. Right here recently, you haven't done any of those things, and then to go into the rarefied air, the hideaway, and pull off a shocker, it is extremely tough. And I would be absolutely shocked but pleased if if Unity wasn't able to pop the champagne corks and do their best impression of the 72 Dolphins and if it goes down that way, but it's just really tough, man. Like, and it really is, and so I don't want to disparage the team at all. I want you to go out there and give them hell, but I know, like, I learned a lesson last year. I cut many of these videos.
Dax hasn't been the same since.
No, man, I'm not. I have not, man. But you know what? I got a really good friend out of the whole deal, and I hope that this team fares really, really good. And I'm excited to hear about.
Starting to sound like Rocky and Creed 2. He broke things inside of me that hadn't been the same.
Can we stop talking about that, man, for just 5 seconds and let me try to put over this team of individuals that have done a phenomenal job of letting us follow their deal. But that's it. This is JDax. Illiterate, close the show, man.
All right. We appreciate it, everybody. We will see you guys again soon, maybe tomorrow. We'll see if we're still in it, whatever.
Maybe.
We'll go from there.
All right. I'll love to talk single day if we're still in this. Later, guys.
Absolutely. Later.